The wall was made of concrete, probably 4 to 5 meters high.
Going from West Berlin to East Berlin was like going through a time.
Because one side of the street was vibrant, full of colors and noises. On the other side, the light was, a very different light. It was this orangey, reddish light. No cars on the street, very little lighting in the houses, and a little bit somber, a little bit scary, I would say, because there was no life.
It's a symbol of their country being divided.
From the West, you wouldn't see that as protection, right? Because walls can have multiple meanings, philosophically speaking, right? It can narrow something that doesn't want to get narrow, but it can also protect.
The Berlin Wall. Built in the dead of night, August of 1961, it had only one goal: to prevent East Berliners from escaping to freedom. After World War II, Berlin was completely disarmed and broken into 4 zones of occupation: American, Soviet, British, and French. The American, British, and French zones of Berlin became known as West Berlin, while the Soviet zone was known as East Berlin. East Berlin rapidly became a horrendous place to live. The people were severely abused by the Red Army, a Soviet military force, right after the divide took place. All industries were closed, and all valuable industry materials, even the railroad tracks, were shipped to Russia. There was additionally a shortage of food staples and all-around low living standards. The Stasi, or secret police, monitored the public, infringing upon the privacy of thousands. In short, East Berlin was an environment of hardship and fear. With this fear came the motivation to escape. Around 200,000 fled East Berlin each year. Almost all were young, skilled workers. The economy of East Berlin was crushed. As a result, the Berlin Wall was constructed, and the people of East Berlin were now trapped.
On the night of August 13, 1961, at 2:30 a.m., barbed wire was strung along the border. By morning, the border between East and West was completely closed. Suddenly, families and friends who had been in separate sectors of Berlin the night before found themselves split apart. Escape attempts erupted as friends and family members in the West encouraged their loved ones. People tried to escape in vain as they realized that they may never see each other again. Commuter trains from the east to the west halted. The right of movement was stripped away, and families, friends, and neighbors were torn apart. In one case, parents trapped in East Berlin with children in West Berlin's West End Hospital were unable to find out if the children had survived. Border guards were ordered to shoot any and all escapees. More than 125 people died in an attempt to regain their freedom. The West was helpless as the Berlin Wall was built on the eastern side. The barrier gradually became a 12-foot-high concrete wall that stretched for 96 miles. It divided neighborhoods, streets, and houses. Fortifications included a back wall, a minefield, a jeep road, guard dogs, watchtowers, and searchlights.
It really didn't have a free will, free expression. It was a controlled state.
The right to privacy was one of the most significant basic human rights violated while the Berlin Wall was standing. The Stasi, or secret police, were responsible for the constant violation of privacy rights. The Stasi were truly frightening, as they were everywhere, always watching. Anyone could be a member of the notorious secret police force, in the guise of family, friend, or acquaintance. About 1/3 of all East Germans were terrorized by the Stasi throughout their existence. They often employed the tactics of arrest and torture. The paranoia the Stasi inspired was quite justified.
As an East German or an East Berliner, to know that every little thing you did was being watched and recorded, possibly, who could live like that?
Perhaps even more significant, and doubtlessly more devastating, was the violation of the right to travel. People's lives were torn apart as they were separated from their loved ones for an indefinite amount of time. The yearning to be reunited with loved ones, paired with the desire to regain the freedom that had so abruptly been stolen from them, made the citizens of East Germany desperate to escape the harsh lives they led. They were encouraged by inspirational speakers such as John F. Kennedy, who visited West Germany in June of 1963 to deliver the speech Ich bin ein Berliner, which translates to I am a Berliner.
In 18 years of peace and good faith, this generation of Germans has earned the right to be free including the right to unite their families and their nations in lasting peace with goodwill to all people.
It's a remarkable speech, a strong commitment to Berlin as a city and its people.
The communist-controlled government trampled upon numerous basic human rights in East Germany, giving a vast number of citizens the courage and resolution to attempt to escape the cruel life which existed within the prison that resulted from the construction of the Berlin Wall.
Escape was near impossible. The land by the wall was covered with raked gravel or turned earth, making it easy to track would-be escapees. The land was mined and booby-trapped. Border guards patrolled the wall, accompanied by attack dogs. Other guards kept watch from the 303 watchtowers. Their orders were to shoot to kill on sight. Gunter Litwin was the first to be shot to death while attempting escape. The same week, a woman jumped from a fourth-floor window to escape and fell to her death. Udo Dudlik drowned after being shot while trying to swim across the Spree River. Bernd Lunzer was shot trying to escape on a clothesline strung over a wall. Winfried Freudenberg built a hot air balloon to escape to the west. It crashed and he died. A 59-year-old woman attempted to escape by jumping out of a window onto a mattress, but she died of injuries. Peter Fechter was only 18 when he was killed. He decided to escape with a friend in 1962 to be with his sister. They ran across a border of sand and scaled the wall, but Peter hesitated and was shot. He fell and was heard crying for help. His friend made it to the west, while Peter was left bleeding on the ground. Checkpoint Charlie was only 1,000 feet away. Even though people on the west asked American soldiers to rescue Peter, they were ordered not to intervene because he was in Soviet-controlled territory. 50 minutes later, East Berlin guards took his body away.
They were willing to risk everything, and to me, that just speaks volumes about the human spirit and the courage of the East Berliners.
However, miraculous successful escapes did occur. The first few weeks after the wall was built, people jumped from windows of buildings right near the wall and into the crowd. A woman tried to jump out of a window and into a blanket held by West Berlin firefighters, but she was restrained by East German police. She broke free and was caught safely. On December 5th, Harry Detterling drove a train into the wall. 32 were on board, and 24 made the escape alive. Detterling called this ride the last train to freedom. Several trucks also managed to crash through the border. In one case, while a man was sliding from a first-floor window, guards seized him from the room he had just escaped. Westerners below caught the man's ankle, which resulted in a tug-of-war. The man safely made it to the west with the help of gravity.
There was a guy who was actually getting over with balloon. I know of a situation where people, dug a hole under the wall. I know of folks who were hiding in a certain section in the car to come across.
Escapes continued up until 1989, the year the Berlin Wall finally fell. Friends and family rejoiced, reunited after 28 years of separation.
I remember that moment when it was in the news. It was very emotional. Everyone was in tears.
Taking out their past frustrations on the wretched, hated wall, the people of West and East Berlin together physically destroyed it, attacking it with chisels, hammers, and whatever they could find. The people of two different worlds were united once again.